I consider myself a large-scale laser-cut steel sculpture artist, first and foremost, before anything having to do with light, and who uses light as a form of creating poetry within my sculptures. I work in laser-cut steel, structural steel, steel that needs to stand up in 110 mile per hour winds. But I also consider myself a creator of not just an object, but a creator of space and allegorical space. I first was a professional photographer for about 10 years or so, and then in 1999 I found myself in a barren desert in Nevada at the Burning Man Festival, and became so inspired by what I saw and the radical creativity that was there that I felt compelled to give back to that experience, because that is what you do there. And it wasn't driven by any sort of money or client or something. It was pure creativity and pure experimentation and joy, and giving people a beautiful experience, a connective experience. And I've been making, over the past 20 years of going to Burning Man, I've made 12 sculptures. My aims in my practice are really to connect human beings. This sounds broad, but really give people a space to connect with each other and to connect to themselves, and to kind of question humanity through art as a conduit. I'm most proud of a sculpture that I actually ended up burning with pyrotechnics. It's called Helios. I made it in 2016, and it was inspired by Leonardo da Vinci Vitruvian Man drawing as a point of activation to illuminate something that you wanted to share with the world. And I'm most proud of it because I collaborated with interactive designers and lighting designers and pyrotechnic designers to create an experience that was actually a ritual space, which I think we need more of, especially in the United States, to write down what you wanted to illuminate within yourself in the central altar that had 6 of the same spaces, and then you would ascend a staircase behind you and then stand like Leonardo, the Vitruvian Man drawing. And when you closed a circuit with your hands, a light beam would shoot out into the sky. And then there were 6 positions to do such things. When 6 other people are encouraged to also write down what they wanted to illuminate within themselves and activated their Vitruvian Man, the light beams crossed, and then down through the center altar came 6 light beams and bounced off of a mirrored pyramid, and then that mirrored light bounced back to you, and you received your own light back to you. So it was in a very poetic way. Helios was in a poetic way about acknowledging what you wanted to share with the world, but in collaboration with others, getting that light returned back to you in a physical and poetic and emotional way. Technology is, I see it and I think, how can I play with this? How can I make this come alive? And how can I make it more human, actually? I use technology to obviously model all the sculptures in 3D using Rhino, and then rendering it in different lighting software and stuff like that. And then the interactivity with connecting people through technology to activate light, a means to an end to create magic for people. I'm not necessarily in love with the whole programming itself. I'm interested in the end result of how do you elevate an experience. I use the lighting and the technology to tell a story. I'm actually extremely light sensitive to the psychological aspects of light. I know street lamps, the color temperature of street lamps is essential, especially in winter. I won't even go into a restaurant if it has bad lighting. Just no. The psychological aspect of that primal feeling of sitting around a fire, that's what I try to actually replicate a lot in my work, because in a very psychological, primal way, people relax under that amber, salmon, golden light. Unfortunately, I think with so much light, it is affecting the environment and the animals. We have to really take into consideration that we can't just blast everything with light 24/7 because there are other creatures besides humans that live on this planet. I think that light is an incredible psychological tool. When you have an open mind and an open heart and you are able to not watch a lot of television and question reality, everything is inspiring. I'm inspired to get people to stop looking at their phones and start looking at each other. When I started to go to Burning Man, the founder of Burning Man, his name's Larry Harvey, and rest in power. He died last year, unfortunately, but he created themes every year at Burning Man that created a kind of, when you created art upon a theme, it created a collective consciousness in the festival. And I think I've created art that had to do with the American dream, which addressed colonial power and Native American power at odds with each other. I've created sculpture that questioned technological sustainability, sculptures that were about self-reflection and standing in your own power and your own light. If you change consciousness, you can change the world. As an artist, you can also be an activist, and you can also make art that elevates and questions reality. That I feel I will have succeeded a little bit at life. My name is Kate Raudenbush. I make large-scale laser-cut steel sculpture.